Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome back. I am going on holiday in a couple of days, and one thing I love about holidays is that it gives me that little bit of downtime just to do some drawing and doodling, and obviously not have to think about those day-to-day things that we normally have to think about. So I always pack some supplies for myself, and I just thought this time we'll just do it together. And you can kind of just see what goes into my little supply bag. So I picked this up from Primark quite a few months ago now. It's actually a toiletry bag. It was in the toiletry section. But with it being Van Gogh, I thought it would make a really nice bag for all of my supplies. Now, one thing that I want to try and do this holiday is do some more watercolour. I tend to do, if I'm painting, I tend to use gouache because I like the movement of it. But I do also really like watercolour because I think it can stop you from overthinking what you're doing, because you kind of have to just let it do its own thing. And you don't have as much control of the outcome, which sometimes I think is a really good thing. So I picked this up on Amazon. It had good reviews. It's a cold pressed 25% cotton, £140, 300 GSM. What is the, oh, it's perforated. And I think this is the name of the company. I won't even attempt to pronounce it. Tomato, I think. So I'm going to take this. Let's cut this open. Let's have a look. Oh, it's got a lovely kind of faux suede. Oh, that's really nice. I wasn't expecting that. A nice little band to keep it closed. Oh, it's really, really nice paper. It's got more textured and a smoother side. This is a 6x6, which I thought would be a really nice manageable size as well. And it actually sits flat as well, which is great. So that's going to go in there. Let's pop that in. I saw these on Amazon and they had really good reviews. And I thought I would give these a go because it was kind of, if I remember correctly, it was very self-contained. So there was like a palette in here and things. So let's just have a look. Now, I will just say though, in the meantime, I did find another palette which would have done me, which actually works really well. I didn't realise, but anyway. So I've got this one now. So we've got a cloth. I would have preferred it without it being bright pink, but never mind. So I've got a cloth here, a palette. So yeah, it's like an inbuilt palette, a nice thing for your paintbrush. I like this. So for now, let's just pop this in. I'm planning on doing some swatches in my watercolour sketchbook whilst I'm away. So I may film that if I get a chance, if you're interested in the swatches. Something else that I always put in my stack are Uniball Eye fine liners. I really like these. The colour payoff's really nice. They're really nice pens. So I'm going to put a few of those in. I've also just discovered this that I didn't know I had. I found it in I just found it in a drawer of pens. It's a Uniball Eye but micro. It's got a smaller nib. And it works so well. It's not a massive difference, to be honest. So that's the micro. It's just a really nice pen to use. Again, it's waterproof. That's the fine. So it's a slightly thinner line on the micro. And I just found it really nice to draw with. So I'm going to put both of those in. Got a little extra pencil case there. Another thing I always take is a black Sharpie in the fine point, which isn't fine at all. You know, it's quite a substantially sized bullet nib there. And I always take a couple of these as well, which is the Sharpie in the Ultra Fine. Now, this does depend. I only ever really use these if the paper will take them. Sometimes certain papers, the ink will bleed when you're using a Sharpie and you don't get a very kind of fine, clear line. So it just depends what I'm using. But I like these because I do tons and tons of black and white patterns. I've done them for years. It's something that I always do to relax. Here's an example I'm doing at the moment. I'm just in the middle of it. I've always done it. I've got sketchbooks and sketchbooks full of them. For this one, I did actually use the micro because the paper, I started with a Sharpie and the paper didn't like it. It started to bleed. So I switched to the micro. So again, it just depends what paper. This is a cheaper sketch pad. It's from the Works in the UK, £4. But it, you know, it's going to do its job for me for my pattern drawing. So I always put a couple of those in. Now I've got a calligraphy Pitt, a Faber-Castell Pitt pen. This is waterproof as well, and you can kind of just, I can't do calligraphy, but you know, it's just got a different type of nib. I don't do calligraphy, but I do like this type of thing for doing like mark making and things, if I was doing a pattern. Now, I always, as well, pack a white gel pen. This is by far my all-time favourite. It's the Uniball Signo Broad. It's just the colour, the opacity, the way the roller, it doesn't get overly clogged. They can get clogged really easy, some gel pens. This isn't too bad. And the nib flows really nicely. The ink flows. So that's my all-time favourite. That always goes with me. But these are also quite good. This is a jelly roll. This is by Secura. This again is nice. It does get a little bit more clogged, I find. And again, I take different ones because, like with the micro and the fine, with the Uniball eyes, they just kind of perform slightly differently. There might be something that I want this for, something else that I want this for. This is a size 8, and I did actually order a size 10 as well, which is bold, because I did find the nib a little bit small. So this is the 10. And those are the nib sizes. Hoping it's going to focus. I can't tell from where I'm sat, but this one is slightly wider. So that's the 10. And that's the 8. That's the 10, that's the 8. So again, it just depends, you know, it's always handy to have 2 different sizes. So if I want to outline something and the Sharpie isn't working well, and these are, you know, the nibs are too small, I like to take a black Posca pen. This is a 3M bullet shaped. Now, I am sure that I have a smaller one than this as well. I cannot find it, which is troubling me a little bit because I want to take it, which does even smaller lines. It's really good for detail, so I'll have a look at that. So I'll take one of those. I'll also take a bigger one in a 5M, again, just for different purposes. I will also take a white one as well. Again, I'm going to try and locate the thinner one. So typically I tend to put my Poscas separately into there. So I've got all my kind of fine liners in there, my detail, and my paint pens in this one. And this is without a doubt my most favourite gold pen marker that I have used so far. It's the Uni Paint marker. It's I think it's alcohol, it's oil based, opaque. You give it a shake, and then you press down on the nib like you would do on a Posca pen or like an acrylic pen. And then you wait for the colour to come through. You can see here, starting to come through. It's got a very strong smell, obviously, with it being oil-based. But if I show you on white, look at that. I'm not sure how clearly that is coming up, but it's so nice. This is the bullet tip, and I think you can get like the thicker chisel tip as well. This is coming with me. Love this. So this one will go in with the paint pens. Now, I'm not actually taking any collage or scrapbooky bits and pieces like that. The reason being is because I want this in my hand luggage. It's quite a long flight. I think it's about 5 hours, and I won't be able to put glue or scissors in here. Or if I did put glue, I think I would need to put it in a plastic bag when I went through, you know. It's just a bit of a hassle, and then I don't really want scissors separately. I'd then have to find them and collate everything again when I got there. So it's just going to be easier for me to stick to painting and drawing. So that is about it. So I can zip these up, pop them into here. And that's me, ready to go. So nice, quick and simple. Really good selection of basics and staples, which I can, you know, I'm going to be able to use throughout the whole of the week. One thing I haven't got, which I need to go and get, so hang on. I need a couple of these water pens. I've got like a flat tip, and I've got like a more chisel tip. These are nice and long, so I'm not have to keep, you know, constantly refill them. I will also take my empty water bottle. This is the Tim Holtz one, or I may fill up a smaller one that I have. I've not got one to hand, but they're about that size. You've probably seen them. It's a little spray bottle. You can get them on Amazon and places like that. So I'll need to take one of those, just so it's, you know, I've got the convenience of having some water. So to fill it up, you just unscrew it, get your nozzle, put your nozzle in there, and then spray, and it's nice and quick and tidy. Doesn't make too much of a mess. I've also got this one, which is very old, but I use it a lot and I'm used to it. So I'm going to take that as well. And I'm also thinking that I could have a, you know, a regular paintbrush. So I've got a selection here that I can take. These are from various places. That's got the teeniest, tiniest, can you see that? Nib. I don't know if you can spot that. That's quite a nice one. So I'm just going to pop a couple of these in here. Different sizes. That might be a nice one if it fits. Yep, so I'll take those. Next to go in are some pencil crayons in case I want to colour anything in or do some detail over the watercolours. Now I have a 36 set of Prismacolors. I do have the full set, but that's huge. I can't take that with me, but this will fit nicely into there. You can see they're really well used. I also want to put in a HB pencil, a sharpener, and these are the best erasers I've ever used. I love them. They don't smear, they don't smudge. So they're going to go in as well. And talking about colouring, I'd thought, why not take a little colouring book? This is really compact, really handy. I got it from the Works for about £3. Portable relaxation, and this is just really good. You can see I've done a few. It doesn't have to be a work of art, just something that you can colour. And if I don't fancy drawing anything, or just want to do some mindless colouring in, I can get on with this. This will also give me some ideas for patterns that I could draw. Some hearts there. I think my son has had a go at a few of these as well. I think I used pen on that. This one, I was testing out some new pens on there. that's when my little boy was a baby, well, a toddler, and he decided to join in. And again on here, that's when he was, I think he drew a man. I think that was a man. Bless him. So you can see, my little boy, I mention him a lot in my videos. So the video that came out before this one, I think it'll go out before this one. You know, he had his own little book and he was doing his book and I was getting my book ready. So he's always kind of joined in with things. He might appreciate having that with him. He does have his own little activity bag that's going on the plane. But, you know, just in case he wants a change of scenery, that can go in there as well. And we can both make use of that. I'm going to pop the pencil in with the fine liners and the sharpener and the eraser. So let's get this repacked nice and neatly. This is honestly one of the nicest hotels I've ever been to. It's so peaceful. I've got this whole place to myself up here. My little boy and my husband have gone to the splash park on the top roof, and I'm just sat here, not a person in sight. So relaxing.